The story goes that there are 7 planetary rulers that control the material world, that they feed on human suffering and ignorance, and that they actively work to keep souls trapped in reincarnation so that they can continue harvesting their energy. And not only that, but Gnostics say they're led by a false god called the Demiurge who genuinely believes that he's the only god. Allow me to introduce you to the Archons. And before you ask, no, they're not metaphors. According to Gnostic texts, they are real entities with names, faces, and specific functions, and every human soul has to get past them after death or be forced back into another body. Here's the structure. The false god, also known as the Demiurge, or by his real name Yaldabaoth, created the material universe, but he can't manage it alone, so he emanates 7 rulers, and these are the Archons, and assigns each one to a planet, and these end up being the governors of the cosmic prison. So let's go through the 7 planetary Archons by name. First is Athoth. Athoth rules Saturn. He's described as having the face of a sheep. He governs time, limitation, restriction, and decay. It's all Saturn energy that binds souls to matter through fear and structure. Next is Eloios. Eloios rules Jupiter. He has the face of a donkey, and he governs expansion and law. He also creates the illusion of growth within the prison while keeping you contained. Up next, we have Astaphaios. Now, Astaphaios rules Venus, and he has the face of a hyena. He governs desire, lust, and attachment. He keeps you reincarnating through unfulfilled wanting and romantic obsession. And next, we have Yao. Yao rules the moon. He has the face of a 7-headed serpent. He governs emotion, memory, and the subconscious, and he traps you through emotional attachment and unresolved traumas. Then you also have Sabaoth, who rules Mars. Sabaoth has the face of a dragon. He also governs war, conflict, and aggression, and not only that, but he feeds on violence and he keeps humanity in perpetual conflict. There's also an Archon named Adonin. And Adonin rules the sun. He has the face of an ape. He governs ego, identity, and the illusion of a separate self, the false light that makes you think that you're the character instead of the consciousness. And finally, there's Sabataios. Sabataios rules Mercury, and he has the face of a flaming fire. He governs thought, communication, and mental activity. Not only that, but he keeps you trapped in endless thinking, distracted by information, and never resting in pure awareness. And once again, these are not symbolic. Gnostic texts describe them as having animal faces, grotesque bodies, and specific personalities. They're called Archons, which means rulers or authorities because they control the structure of material reality. Now here's how they function. The Archons don't want you to escape. When you die, your soul rises through the planetary spheres trying to return to the Pleroma, but at each level, an Archon guards the gate, and they demand identification. They test you, and if you don't have Gnosis, which includes the secret passwords, the hidden names, and the mysteries, they turn you back, wipe your memory, and force you to reincarnate. This is why you'll find Gnostic texts full of bizarre names and phrases. In the text, you'll find phrases like, when you reach the sphere of Saturn, say to Athoth, I know your name and the name of your mother. These are the passwords. They're the keys that you'll need to bypass the gatekeepers. The Archons also feed on humanity. Gnostic texts describe them as parasitic. They consume the energy of human suffering, fear, anger, lust, and pain, and they engineer situations that generate these emotions because they're literally farming us for our emotional energy. Wars, conflicts, systems of control, religious institutions that keep people in fear and guilt. Gnostics say these are all archonic structures. The Archons don't just rule planets, they influence human systems to keep us asleep, distracted, and suffering. And if you don't believe me, take a listen to what St. Paul has to say. Gnostics believe he could be referencing the Archons when he writes, For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness. What does that sound like? Rulers and authorities? That's the Archons. Cosmic powers over this present darkness? That's the planetary governors. We're all talking about the Archons. Now in the Gnostic text, the hypostasis of the Archons, they're described as jealous and afraid. And when they see humans carrying the divine spark that they lack, they become envious. They create the material body as a prison to trap the spirit. They institute religion to keep humans worshiping the demiurge instead of seeking the true God. The entire goal of Gnostic practice is to outwit these Archons. You study the mysteries so when you die, you can ascend past each planetary ruler without being caught, and you develop Gnosis so that they can't deceive you. You recognize their influence in life as well, the emotional hooks, the mental traps, and the systems of control so that you can refuse to feed them. In Gnostic teachings, Christ himself descended through all 7 archonic spheres without being caught. Every Arkan along the way tried to stop him, but they couldn't because he knew their names and their secrets. He came to teach humanity that same knowledge, how to escape the Arkans and return to the Pleroma. And this Gnostic influence has lasted well into the modern day. Modern conspiracy theories about reptilian overlords, energy harvesting entities, and control systems keeping humanity enslaved? Yeah, that's Arkan theology filtered through 2,000 years and stripped of the spiritual context. But the structure's identical: malevolent, non-human intelligences that farm humans for energy. Even Western esotericism absorbed Arkan cosmology. The planetary spheres that must be traversed, the guardians demanding passwords, and the hidden names that grant passage. This all shows up in Golden Dawn pathworking, Rosicrucian initiation, and ceremonial magic systems. So yeah, the Arkans aren't just ancient mythology, they're the Gnostic explanation for why the world is controlled by forces that seem hostile to human flourishing, why systems exist to keep us asleep, and why spiritual liberation requires secret knowledge to bypass the cosmic prison guards. Now, if you want to learn more about Gnostic cosmology and Western esotericism, make sure to like the video. Let me know what you think about Gnosticism in the comments below, and follow for more deep dives like this. Till next time.